In this edition of Fifth Gear, Vicki wrings the neck of a new Ferrari and Tom asks if the new Golf is still an icon. But first, a shocking fact. Over the next 12 months, 3 million people are going to be caught speeding.
So tonight on Fifth Gear, we're going to help you save your licence. Because, like it or not, we are a nation of speeders, no matter what we drive. David Beckham was caught doing 76 in a 50, escaping the paparazzi, whilst the ambulance car delivering organs at 104 also earned a ticket. Can you imagine being towed at more than a tonne? Well, it happened.
Police found Ozzie Griffiths, the man being towed, shaking like a leaf.
And remember the Reliant Robin driver who was pursued by 4 police cars?
They didn't really have a chance.
The highest speed ever recorded by police, though, was the biker who clocked 157 on the Tinchwick bypass.
But now there's a host of expensive gadgetry that claims to find the speed traps before they find you. We've decided to test them all by building the ultimate stealth car.
So you better keep watching. Hi. The Ferrari 360 is one of the all-time great road cars. They've built a racing version too, the 360 Challenge. And now, in a terribly confusing fashion, they've built a road version of the racing car. That's right, a road version of the racing version of the road car. Are you sitting comfortably? Good, because this is its story. Think of the Challenge Stradale as a 360 GTI, a sportier car with a more direct connection to the track. The little details mean you never feel far away from the Formula One team. Even this shade of red, Rosso Corsa, is the same as Michael's. The price? £130,000. Which is 30 grand more than the standard car. So, what does that extra money get you? Well, actually, it gets you a bit less. A bit less weight, that is, thanks to a few materials that fell off the back of an F1 lorry. In fact, there it is in the background. They give you carbon fibre door panels, remove all the carpets, fit carbon ceramic brakes, and even titanium wheel bolts. Underneath, there's a dual-layer floor with F1-inspired holes and fins to tidy up the airflow. The keenest viewers among you will have noticed the slightly longer nose, the slightly modified sills, the slightly lipped boot, and the fact that the rear is slightly higher than the front, all of which aids aerodynamics. But perhaps the best modification is in this window, you know, the one with the view. By tweaking here and there and painstakingly polishing the inside of the engine, Ferrari has managed to massage power up to 425 bhp, which means 60 in 4 seconds. That's a whole half a second quicker than your mate's stock 360. Show me the keys. So it's lighter, it's more aerodynamic, it's faster. But is it any better? Now, at this point, we normally play one of our favourite disco tunes, but today the music is provided by Ferrari, and the hills are alive with it. I suspected the sports exhaust would become rather wearing, the stiffer suspension would be jarring, and the paddle shift gearbox would be as jerky as all the others. But I was wrong. The ride, as expected, is on the harsh side, but only when you go over the worst surfaces. The rest of the time, the suspension and the balance of the car work really well together. So well, in fact, that they often tempt you into corners at very naughty speeds. Now, I defy anybody not to fall in love with that engine. It's just delicious, proper race car stuff, and you end up revving it just for fun. The Stradale has no manual gearbox option, only the paddles. Check out the longer lever on the right, which is easier to reach for those quick up changes out of hairpins. Traditionally, it's been a struggle to make the paddle shift work smoothly with a highly tuned engine, but thanks to the latest software, this is the best system I have ever tested. See? No jerks. Oh. So there I was, happily playing with my gearbox in the hills around Modena, heading for Ferrari's private test track, when what should appear in my rearview mirror but scoop! The new Ferrari 456 in full-on secret testing gear. Currently, right behind me is a Ferrari, sort of camouflaged, and I'm a bit scared because it's probably got some right little tasty driver behind the wheel. Oh, I don't know where he'll be going. Just give him a run for his money. Nothing focuses the mind quite like being chased by a test driver who knows the roads better than you do. This is very secret testing. We shouldn't really be filming. I think he's seen the camera. I think we've lost him, kidder. He cunningly gave us the slip by turning left. But rest assured we gave chase and can now bring you these exclusive shots of the boot for the very first time anywhere in the world. You saw it here first. Back to the Challenge Stradale and Ferrari's test track. You know you've selected race mode when the sport light comes on. How helpful. Hit launch control for a fast getaway and wait for the call. Tiff had warned me the stiffer suspension would make the car twitchy and hard to slide. Don't know what he was worrying about. Mission accomplished. To be honest, only dedicated Ferrari race nuts will get value for money from the extra 30 grand over the standard 360. People like Ferrari F1 boss Jean Todt, who asked for the very first one. He also ordered the optional hand-painted stripe that costs a whopping £3,000 on top. Mamma mia. So what we have here is a great way of feeling closer to Ferrari racing and a greater way of telling all the other 11,000 360 owners that you're just that little bit richer. I love it, but unless you've got petrol coursing through your veins, you'll get just as big a thrill from the standard 360. We're making the ultimate stealth car. Our Volvo 850 is the perfect starting point. The 150-mile-an-hour T5 was a police favourite. In Night Stalker Black, it's ideal for covert mile munching. This one has a unique pedigree. The previous owner was a certain Quentin Wilson. We want to fit it with the best speed camera detection devices possible, which means we've got to do some testing. We'll start by looking at traditional radar detectors. They work by sensing the radar signals emitted by Gatso cameras. They'll also warn you if a copper is firing his radar or laser gun at you. They get power from the cigarette lighter and with a bit of spit are easy to fit.
Laser alert.
Time to test our stealth kit in the real world.
We'll start with the Beltronics Bell 550, about £300, but will it detect the camera?
Oh, yes. At least 100 yards. Oh, it's even told me what band it is, K-band. At least 100 yards before the camera, we're being warned that it's active. Very impressive.
The closer the camera, the bigger the number. But it's not long before the beeps become annoying.
It's all right, I know now. Yes, thank you. I'm finished. Stop.
Our next test was the Speed Cheater, £200 and elegantly concealed in a driving mirror.
Right, I've got my cheetah mirror attached. I rather like it. It's already alerting me well before the Beltronics did. I really like the fact there's the mirror, that the dash is left uncluttered, and it obviously operates with plenty of warning for the camera ahead.
So the Speed Cheetah had a price and slight performance advantage, but we also wanted to test these detectors with a laser gun. The bell beeped straight away. Disappointingly, the Speed Cheetah remained silent. The company assures us they're working on it.
Of course, you may think it's pointless detecting speed guns anyway. By the time your device warns you, the police have already clocked your speed. Well, with the help of expert Steve Warren, who has some 9 years testing experience, we discovered that the bell could detect his laser gun even if he wasn't directly targeting me.
Laser alert.
Now, even though Steve is pointing the laser 2 cars in front of mine, I'm picking up some laser scatter, which would give me enough warning to slow down if I was speeding.
But there are 2 major problems with these gadgets. The first is that they cry wolf.
Now, the only trouble with these radar detectors is that when you get into a town centre, lots of other things can set them off and put you on edge all the time. There's certainly no cameras around here. But at least it's saying... And I spoke too soon. We went past Waitrose and off it goes.
The sensors over automatic doors will often give you a false alarm, which is very annoying. The other problem is that these detectors don't spot infrared true-flow cameras or the digital specs devices that average your speed over a distance.
To be warned about those things as well, you need a new type of system. They're called GPS devices, and several are available, priced from £300 to £500. They all work the same way, flashing and beeping when you get close to a camera. GPS means Global Positioning System, a network of satellites the US Army created to find their tanks, but which can now be used by anybody. Each company runs a database of every fixed speed trap in the country. The device then listens to the GPS satellite to work out where you are and whether there's a camera nearby. To ensure you've got up-to-date information, you plug the units into the internet and download the latest database. An annual subscription costs around £50. Obviously, we couldn't do a complete check on the accuracy of all the databases. It's impossible without driving all over the country with every system. However, in the 4 weeks we've been playing with the things, they've always come up trumps. But GPS-only systems won't detect laser or radar guns, which is why manufacturers are now starting to offer attachments that do detect them. So you get all the benefits of GPS plus some of the radar and laser protection we saw earlier. The combined systems we tested worked well, but they do come at a price. Our favourites are the Origin B2, which comes with laser detection for £420. The robust Road Angel is £400, also with laser protection. And the dinky little Morpheus Micropilot, with optional radar but no laser, it's £745.
Incidentally, you may be wondering whether any of this lot are legal. Here's a quick word from a policeman.
Yes, they are perfectly legal because all they're doing is providing information.
Aha! It's that time again. The launch of a new Volkswagen Golf. Mark V of a series that gained icon status early on, but gradually lost its charm by becoming a fat blob.
But this time, Bernd Pischetsrieder, that's the boss of VW, reckons that the Golf Mark V is going to claw back some of that iconic status. He also reckons that it's going to seriously poop on contenders like the Ford Focus and Renault's Megane.
In fact, he's so confident it'll become a cult, he's had the town where it's built change its name. It's no longer Wolfsburg, it's Golfsburg.
But the VW boss can't rename everywhere in the world, so what's this Mark V got to rely on? Well, part of the original Golf's promise was that its design was perfect. You know, it was restrained, classic and classless. It was as happy in Kenilworth as it was in Kensington.
But this new one, it just looks like a Seat Ibiza. Yes, it does. Especially the headlights. OK, the side is more traditional Golf with a high waistline and a big thick C-pillar. But you get back to the rear and it's Seat again, especially with this badge bootlidy thing. In a world where car icons are things like Smarts, Audi TTs, Range Rovers, the new Mini, and the Megane's bum, the Golf's cool credentials are found wanting. the new Golf simply doesn't look radical enough.
Inside, it's all quite clean and elegant and, you know, quite beautiful. But it would be, because it's new. The thing is, it feels really well made. It's got lots of nice touchy plastics, and you've still got those old blue backlights, which is really nice at night. But the thing is, it's too much like the old car. Nothing here suggests that it's an icon reborn.
But there's more to get sweaty about with the undergarments. These Golfs aren't just lashed together, you know, they're laser welded. Rolling stiffness is up by 35% and static stiffness is up by 80%. Woohoo! What does that mean?
What it means is that this 2-litre diesel actually rides and handles better than the old Mark IV 2-litre GTI petrol. It's quicker too. It hits 0 to 62 in 9.2 seconds and runs on to 126 miles an hour.
But the rest of it, well, it's just not special. Things like the over-servoed brakes, the workman-like 6-speed gearbox, the good but not great electromechanical steering.
And the worst part is, they've not given us the car that's going to make this an instant icon, a new GTI. We'll have to wait until next September for that 200 horsepower motor. At the same time, we'll get a 275 horsepower V6, which is the one I kind of really want to see.
For the moment, the fastest Golf is this diesel, and you'll have to make do with shouting about the 52.3 miles to the gallon. Great, but is this the stuff of icons? Well, you never heard Elvis shouting about fuel economy. In the UK, we'll also get a slower diesel and a couple of rather lethargic sounding petrol cars, starting with a 75 horsepower 1.4. Will it move? But there's just one thing that might maintain the Golf's status. Prices are distinctly premium. From about £12,000 to £18,000, they're £1,000 to £1,500 more than the competition.
Okay, so what we've got here is a perfectly acceptable car. It's better built, it's better to drive, and it's hard to actively hate the way it looks. Trouble is, we were looking for an icon reborn, something exceptional. And what we got, well, it's just another car.
Normally when they ask me to get involved with stunts, I seem to come off the worse for wear.
First of all, they tried to get me to parallel park. Then they put me in a car chase with Tiff, no less. Ouch! That hurt.
So when they sent me to the world's biggest stunt show, naturally, I was a bit apprehensive. Seems a bit quiet round here. I wonder what happens next.
This is what happens next. We're at Disneyland in Paris, under the careful guidance of René Julien, the man who taught James Bond how to drive. A huge team of 45 stunt drivers, 10 cars, 2 lorries, 10 motorbikes and numerous jet skis fight it out in the ultimate tyre-squealing battle between good and evil.
Disney wanted to recreate the best bits of every stunt you've ever seen in the movies and show the public how it's done in reality through this massive film set.
The set took 6 months to build and is meant to evoke a fishing town in the south of France. Why? Well, because quite a few top movie car chases, including some of the best James Bond films and part of Ronin, were set in places just like this.
Building a near replica to a town was one thing. Finding the cars that could do the stunts day in, day out for 365 days of the year was quite another. So Disney contacted GM and they came up with these. And stunt coordinator Ron Sonny is going to show me what they're all about, aren't you?
Are you ready, Adrian?
I am. Yeah. On y va, Ronwell.
Okay,
that's a bit of French, my son. How many years have you been doing stunt driving?
25 years.
Have you had many accidents? Have you had many accidents?
Oh yeah, many.
Really? You didn't tell me that. That's the worst one. Oh!
Whilst all this was going on, Mr. Sonny explained this isn't your average Vauxhall Corsa. It weighs half as much, it's got a race-spec sequential gearbox that can flick into reverse at any moment, and the 1.3 engine is tuned to give over 130 brake horsepower.
and instead of sitting in the front, the engine's mid-mounted for maximum skidability.
To become a stuntman on motor action, we train the people for 6 months and 2 months of rehearsals. You have to be very calm, no stress, very precise on your driving, and very careful. You have to train a lot. That's the only secret. Practice, practice, and practice.
And once you've done months of motorised ballet without crashing, they allow you to burn rubber in the real show. Called the Stunt Show Spectacular, or Moteur Action in French. It lasts for 30 minutes and is included in the standard park entrance ticket. The basic story is the good guy enters in the red car and is chased by 4 baddies in black. After some 360s, reverse flicks and jumps, the hero switches from 4 wheels to 2. Then it's rolling stoppies, extreme wheelies, and plenty of pyro. Finally, our star turn gets back in the car and goes airborne for the closing sequence. My favourite bits were the reverse car jump, where they revealed that the car isn't actually reversing at all. It's the body that's on back to front, and the lorry jump, where they use a giant reusable airbag to break the fall. I was less impressed with the remote-controlled car, which wasn't. There was a driver hidden behind it. Bah! All the action is filmed, there's the helicam, so we can see how each type of stunt would be shot for the movies. If you want to go, the show is on 365 days a year, and when we went, I'm pleased to report that the queues weren't too bad at all. You could say it was fun for all the family.
It's the final stage of our ultimate stealth car story. There's just one more device to test, but it's one that sits in a rather grey area as far as the law is concerned, even though it's nothing more sinister than a garage door opener.
We know the police can fire a laser gun straight at you to take a speed reading. Even if your detector goes mad, it's too late to avoid the points, as the police already have your speed. But our next gadget could change things.
You fit this small device into the front of your car, and when it receives the laser beam from your garage doors, it sends back its own beam to recognise that fact. Unfortunately, the beam it sends jams police lasers and makes it impossible for them to check your speed.
There are pictures of innocent garage doors on the box, but it's pretty clear that jamming police lasers is what it's really for.
Now, Steve, these aren't simple devices just plug in and stick on the dashboard.
No,
then.
you have to have a reasonable idea of auto electrics. There's a lot of wiring to play with, and take some time because.
Well, where are we going to put it then?
Well, the common place is underneath the number plate. So you would typically mount this unit up under here, so it just looks out underneath the number plate, so it's as discreet as you can get it.
Oh, you could cut a hole in your bumper, I presume.
If you want to be more trick, then you could take out a centre of the grille and pop it in between there. You need to fit it discreetly and out the way. You don't want the unit stolen.
The stories that they were very powerful before, they were almost too powerful or something.
Yes, there were some very powerful units out there where they used class 4 lasers, and you could literally, if you took the lens off, you could see the cardboard burn on them and everything else. They've made them more eye-safe, as they like to call it now.
Eye-safe or not, I still left the fitting to Steve. It's crucial to get it level. Steve told us he's seen loads that are rendered useless by being fitted upside down or pointing to the sky. So, after an hour of wrestling with the loom, did it actually work? I took to the road and we armed VBH with a laser gun.
16 miles an hour, mate.
Right, around the corner.
I feel exceptionally powerful with this tool.
I can see the little minx ahead of me. She's aiming.
So I've got my red spot onto his number plate.
Oh, there goes the beat. She's hitting me, but I'm jamming her.
I can't get a reading. Minx!
Mind you, I wasn't speeding anyway, of course, so keep up the good work, Vix.
Drat! All the gun displayed was an E04 error code, which means the jammer works. So you don't arouse police suspicions, the jammer then automatically switches off, allowing you to slow down to a legal speed by the time the police take a second reading. It's 350 quid, but if you get pulled and Plod spots it, beware.
It would be up to the driver to persuade a court of law that he had them for an innocent purpose. If he could not prove that, then he would be prosecuted for obstruction.